Okay, the last segment. So, preparation of photographic evidence. Admissibility of photographic evidence and jurisprudence of photographic evidence. So, yeah. So, the basic rules in admissibility actually is, sinabi ko na to sa six, number 6, number 6 segment is, so it should be a true and faithful representation of the scene. So, hindi dapat misleading, hindi dapat distorted. Ayun. So, the person viewing it should get an impression of the scene or object which does not mislead in any of the important aspect. The person must be, it should be on a normal person's view. So, it should be in an eye level. It should be free from unusual distortion, shapes, and color, or any deceptive tone relationship, so that the court will not doubt the admissibility of your photographs. So, City of Manila versus Cabangis. A photograph is admissible in evidence upon proof of exactness and accuracy. Sabi dito that the photograph is a true and faithful representation of the subject as seen by the naked eye. So, as a matter of fact, the court have taken judicial notice of the photographic process as being, capable of producing an accurate representation of, because as Justice Season of the Supreme Court has ruled that the process by which the lens of a camera forms an image are dependent upon the governed by the same natural law as an image formed by the human eye. So sabi dito is, dito na parang na-accept legally ang photograph, pero dapat may admissible siya under the premise of the exactness and accuracy. And it must be a true and faithful representation the naked eye. So, ayun. Kasi nga, sabi ni Madam sa Justice Season, same din yung physics nung nangyayari sa eye, sa camera. So, however, the photographic image can also be manipulated to become misleading. It is for the reason that before the photograph being offered in evidence as admitted, it must undergo verification as to its exactness and accuracy. In our judicial system, those who are qualified to show proof faithfulness are the photographer who took the photograph, any person who has personal knowledge of the taking of the photograph, have seen the subject. So, pero ngayon na is, I think, dapat um, series, and dapat na-signan yung photographic log, meron sa, para hindi ma-break yung chain of custody. So it must be mentioned here that the requirement of law and accuracy is not mathematical but substantive. Evidence photographs may be divided into two categories: that which represent an object of evidence and simply serve in place of an object or verbal description of it. So, a photograph, diba, is it represent the evidence. So, you may give, or you may, if it does not require ocular inspection, pag malaki yung bagay, is you can use that as a substitute or a representative to that object evidence. Those which are designed to prove a point bearing an issue on, such as comparison chart of a fingerprint, handwriting, or test bullets or shells. So, yung sinasabi dito is to prove a point. So, for example, to prove that Mr. De La Cruz is the one who raped Mrs. De La Peña, may pinotograph silang fingerprint sa room ni Miss De La Peña. So, yun. It proves the identity of Mr. De La Cruz. Ayun. So, techniques for demonstrating evidence prints. So, kapag composite prints, meron din yung matching photographs and matching transparencies. Composite prints is two photographs played side by side to show points of similarities of differences, especially pag meron yung test sa ballistics, and yung recovered bullet and the test na tinest na bullet through the same through the murder weapon. So this is generally used in the composition of fingerprint, handwriting, or ballistics examination. So we will not discuss yung what do photograph show kasi sinabi ko na. And matching photograph. This is another technique of illustrating similarities. Place a part of one photograph over in careful alignment with the other. Used in tool mark. So, yung parang complete the picture. Nasa side yung parang picture ng tool mark at yung tool na ginamit na sa other side din. Tapos, nagtugma. So, matching photographs. This is used to show two objects have identical outline. A positive transparency of one is placed over the other, adjusted to outline coincide like the trace forgery. So, transparency. So, parang, di ba? Meron yung parang, cannot explain this, pero usually it is done through yung mga signature na na-forge. Parang, ito yung mga photograph ng totoong mga exemplars na signature. At ito yung forged signature at ipa-place nila over sa mga exemplars at hindi nagmamatch, that is matching transparencies. So the degree of enlargement or size of a photographic exhibit, there are two choices. Pag large display is you use 11 by 14 or 16 by 24. So bale yung source ko dito presentation is na kay book. I will put it in the class code. Ayun. So perspective, correct viewing distance and normal viewing distance. In preparation of photographic exhibits, the photographer should seriously consider perspective, the correct viewing distance, normal viewing distance in determining the degree of enlargement or size of his print. So, normal eye level at tingnan mo para may relationship siya sa ibang evidence or yung normal na sight ng tao. Yun yung laging ginagamit dito. So, it is visually desirable necessary to view photographs in its natural and true perspective. So, when such prints are viewed correctly, the viewer will be able to make a more reliable judgment as if meron sila sa crime scene. So, yun, perspective, that you must consider the geometric relationship between the camera and the object of the time. The picture was taken from a fixed vantage point. So, from the, siguro pag titignan mo, or if you want to photograph yung sinabi ng witness, kung saan niya na witness, is dun ka mismo sa kanyang place. So, to prove yung sinasabi ng witness, pinicturan mo at nakikita mo pala na meron sa eyesight ng witness yung nangyari. So, ganun. Perspective. So, correct viewing distance, it must be yung same with the normal viewing of the eye. So, to reproduce the same angular relationship established by camera position, the eye must be on the lens focal length. So, mostly 35 to 50 mm. And normal viewing distance. And normal viewing distance, although the equation gave about defines correct viewing, we must also consider the comfort of the viewer. The print will finally be viewed, and that is handheld. So you just read these ones. Perspective, correct viewing distance, and the normal viewing distance. To find the degree and enlargement, we arrange the for a camera with 3 mm film size na yung focal length ng camera na ginamit mo or yung lens is dapat 11 by 15, pag 50 mm 8 by 11, 85 mm 4.5 by 6. So what to do when you're testifying in court? You must be a man of science. So dapat within the rules of science, hindi within the rule of men. So if the law has made you a witness, remain a man of science, you have no victim to avenge, no guilty or innocent person to ruin or save, you must be a witness within the limits of science. So, kung ano lang yung provide within the rules of science, yun lang dapat yung i-present mo. For example, may evidence na kulang yung evidence kahit alam mo na siya yung gumawa, dapat yung sa evidence ka pa rin mag-base kahit kulang yan. For example lang so in testifying, your purpose is to explain, not to defend your photograph. So the purpose is to explain daw yung mga pinag-represent mo na photographs in court. In the case of People of the Philippines versus De Vega on October 18, 1956, the court held that let the thing speak for itself. The thing means the photograph. So, may tips yung author kung pupunta ka sa court. So, yun. Formal attire. So, walk in normally. Not large. Dapat mag-sir at mag-your honor ka sa judge. Speak clearly and distinctly. So, you must, ayun, and the other tips. So, sometimes, your photographs may be in question due to some deficiencies or may nakita yung defense lawyer. So, accuracy of color. So, tatanungin niya, okay, yan ba talaga yung kulay ng nakita mo? Parang the accuracy of color, yung alterations ng negatives or on prints, yung parang may traces ba na yung pixels ng print is parang may na-edit ganun, may kinopy paste na imahe, may yung enlarge na tao sa print, may errors in printing, may underexpose, overexpose, or may dodging siya, which is cropping or burning in. Ganun. Equipment. So, ano yung ginamit? Dapat hindi na ilagay yung equipment na yung event settings ng aperture, mga ganun, sa photograph log. Lighting, kung ano yung lighting na ginamit, and yung mga marking sa photographs. So, ito yung parang it is where they usually point their objections. At meron din yung misleading photographs. Meron retouching on the negatives or prints, double multiple exposure, face up or composite photographs, montage or superimposition, camera viewpoint. So, yung mga ganito, maglalagay ako ng mga examples niya sa Google Class nyo. Pero medyo, maglalagay pa ako doon. So, yun. So, punta tayo sa legal foundation of digital photography. So, na rules on electronic evidence sa mga digital camera na ginagamit. So, yung sabi sa Rule 3 ng e-commerce law is that it is admissible subject to the rules of the court. So, same din lang siya sa analog na camera. Pero, subject din siya sa korte. At sa International Association for Identification, yung color film, it is normal progression daw na yung may color na ang film natin at may color print na tayo. Ayun. So, some guidelines for ensuring digital photographs admissibility. So, parang steps to achieve a highly admissible na evidence na photograph. Sabi ng author nito. So, formulate a standard operation procedure or the department policy. I believe that may ganun yung SOCO natin. So, may procedure sila na dapat may photograph log, dapat before, during, and after ng pag magko-collect ng evidence, naka-picture, dapat may long range, may series ng picture, may panorama picture to establish yung locations ng mga evidences and etc. So mostly important, preserve the original data images. This can be done in various ways, including the saving the image file to a hard drive or recording the image file to a CD. So after may may backup storage ka for that. Digital image shall be preserved in their original file format. So kapag JPG yung sa digital, yung parang format ng napicturean mo, dapat JPG din ka magpe-print. So if images are stored in a computer work, dapat may password yan at hindi dapat na-edit, dapat read-only lang siya. And if an image is to be analyzed or enhanced, the new image file created should be saved as new file. So pwede mo naman i-edit actually yung photo, pero for enlargement lang, not to edit the content of it. So that's it for the last segment. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Close.